In the heart of New Orleans, nestled amidst the vibrant culture and historic charm, there existed a small and unassuming art restoration studio run by a woman named Evelyn. With her skilled hands and keen eye, Evelyn was known throughout the city as a master of her craft. She possessed a deep reverence for the past, a respect that guided her every touch as she breathed new life into ancient artworks. One humid afternoon, while exploring the dusty attic of a decrepit old mansion, Evelyn stumbled upon a painting unlike any she had encountered before. It was a portrait of a mysterious woman, her eyes as dark as the night, and her expression an enigmatic mix of sorrow and malevolence. The colors were so vivid, so lifelike, that the painting seemed to pulse with an inner energy. Despite its beauty, the painting had suffered the ravages of time. The canvas was cracked and yellowed with age, and the colors had faded into muted shades of their former glory. Evelyn felt an inexplicable connection to the painting and knew that she had to undertake the task of restoring it. Over the course of several weeks, Evelyn meticulously worked on the painting, laboring late into the night, her studio bathed in the soft glow of lamplight. As she delicately cleaned the surface and repaired the cracks, she began to feel an eerie presence emanating from the portrait. Whispers, barely audible, danced on the edge of her consciousness, and she couldn't shake the feeling that the woman in the painting was watching her. One fateful evening, as Evelyn put the finishing touches on the painting, an otherworldly chill filled the studio. The woman's eyes, once haunting and still, flickered with a sinister light. Startled, Evelyn stumbled back, her heart pounding in her chest. The woman in the painting seemed to come to life before her eyes. Her hand extended from the canvas, reaching out toward Evelyn. With trembling fingers, Evelyn touched the woman's hand, and in an instant, she was pulled into the painting. She found herself standing in a world that defied reality. It was a place of twisted landscapes, where the sky was a sickly shade of green, and the ground oozed with black, viscous liquid. Sinister creatures, nightmarish and grotesque, lurked in the shadows. Evelyn's heart raced as she realized the gravity of her situation. She was trapped within the cursed painting, a realm of malevolence and despair. The woman, whose portrait she had restored, stood before her, her eyes now filled with a wicked glee. "You have freed me," the woman hissed, her voice echoing through the surreal landscape. "And for that, you shall be my vessel in the mortal world." As days turned into weeks within the cursed painting, Evelyn struggled to survive in the malevolent realm. The creatures that inhabited this nightmarish world were relentless in their pursuit of her soul. They whispered taunts and threats, their words echoing in her mind. But Evelyn was not without her own determination. She embarked on a quest to uncover the secrets of this realm and find a way to escape. She encountered other lost souls, victims of the cursed painting, who shared their stories and warned her of the woman's insidious plan. They explained that the woman was a malevolent spirit who had been imprisoned within the painting centuries ago for her wicked deeds. She had devised a way to draw souls into the painting to sustain her power and grant her access to the mortal world. Evelyn's only hope lay in finding a way to reverse the curse and break free from the painting's grasp. With newfound allies and a growing understanding of the realm's dark magic, she set out on a perilous journey to confront the woman and reclaim her own soul. Back in the mortal world, the sudden disappearance of Evelyn had not gone unnoticed. Her friends and family launched a frantic search, uncovering clues that led them to the cursed painting. They enlisted the help of a paranormal investigator, Dr. Thomas Blackwood, who had experience with supernatural phenomena. Dr. Blackwood delved into the history of the painting and discovered the ancient curse that bound the malevolent spirit within. He realized that Evelyn's restoration work had inadvertently weakened the curse's hold on the woman, allowing her to escape into the mortal world. Determined to save Evelyn and prevent the woman from claiming more souls, Dr. Blackwood and Evelyn's loved ones devised a plan to enter the painting themselves. They sought out a renowned psychic, Madame Seraphina, who possessed the ability to bridge the gap between the two worlds. With Madame Seraphina's guidance, they entered the cursed painting, prepared to face the horrors that awaited them. The battle for souls had begun. Inside the cursed painting, Evelyn's allies confronted the malevolent spirit, who had grown stronger by feeding on the souls of the lost. The woman's power was immense, and she unleashed a torrent of dark magic upon them. As the battle raged on, Evelyn and her allies learned the truth about the woman's tragic past. She had once been a victim herself, tormented and abused by those who should have protected her. Her descent into darkness had been a desperate attempt to gain power and revenge. In a moment of clarity, Evelyn realized that the only way to stop the woman and break the curse was through an act of selflessness and compassion. She confronted the woman, offering her understanding and forgiveness. Tears filled the woman's eyes as she recognized the sincerity of Evelyn's words. The curse that had bound her for centuries began to weaken, and the malevolent spirit's form flickered and faded. Evelyn's allies, guided by Madame Seraphina's magic, transported the weakened spirit back into the painting, restoring the curse's seal. With a final act of self-sacrifice, Evelyn used her own connection to the mortal world to seal the painting shut, ensuring that the malevolent spirit could never escape again. As the cursed painting hung once more in the art restoration studio, its dark secrets hidden from the world, Evelyn emerged from the realm of nightmares. She had paid a great price for her heroism, but she had broken the curse and saved countless souls. Evelyn's friends and family welcomed her back with tears of joy, and Dr. Blackwood, Madame Seraphina, and the other lost souls were forever grateful for her sacrifice. The cursed painting remained a haunting reminder of the darkness that could lurk within art, but it was also a testament to the power of compassion and selflessness to overcome even the most malevolent forces. And so, Evelyn's life returned to a semblance of normalcy, but she carried with her the knowledge that some secrets were better left undisturbed, and that the darkness could always be challenged by the light of the human spirit. Months passed, and the cursed painting hung in the art restoration studio, seemingly dormant. Evelyn's life had returned to normal, but an eerie sense of unease had settled over her. She couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching her, waiting for an opportunity to strike. Late one night, as Evelyn worked alone in the studio, she heard a faint whisper coming from the painting. At first, she dismissed it as a trick of her imagination, but the voices grew louder and more insistent. It was the malevolent spirit, attempting to communicate with her. "You cannot contain me forever," the voice hissed. "I will find a way back." A cold sweat broke out on Evelyn's brow as she realized that the curse had not been fully broken. The spirit was still trapped within the painting, but its influence extended beyond the canvas. It sought revenge and freedom with a burning intensity. As days passed, the malevolent spirit's presence in the studio grew stronger. Shadows seemed to move of their own accord, and the air grew heavy with a palpable sense of dread. Evelyn's sleep was plagued by nightmares, visions of grotesque creatures and tortured souls. One night, as she tossed and turned in her bed, Evelyn heard a voice calling her from the darkness. It was a chorus of anguished souls, trapped and tormented. The voices whispered a chilling warning: the malevolent spirit was growing in power, and it was coming for her. Evelyn knew she had to act quickly. She reached out to Dr. Blackwood and Madame Seraphina, who had experience dealing with malevolent entities. They agreed to return to the studio and confront the spirit once more, but the stakes were higher than ever. Back in the studio, Dr. Blackwood and Madame Seraphina set up a protective circle, their faces etched with determination. Evelyn watched as they performed a ritual to weaken the malevolent spirit's hold on the mortal world. But the spirit was not so easily defeated. It lashed out with all its fury, causing the very walls of the studio to tremble. Shadows writhed and contorted, taking on grotesque forms that advanced menacingly toward the trio. Madame Seraphina, her voice trembling with the effort, recited incantations meant to banish the spirit once and for all. Dr. Blackwood, armed with ancient artifacts, channeled his knowledge of the supernatural to protect Evelyn and himself. In a climactic showdown, the malevolent spirit unleashed its full wrath. The cursed painting itself seemed to come alive, its colors swirling in a maelstrom of malevolence. Evelyn felt herself being pulled into its depths, her very soul at risk of being consumed. With a final burst of strength, Madame Seraphina and Dr. Blackwood managed to weaken the spirit's hold just long enough for Evelyn to break free. She stumbled out of the protective circle, gasping for breath as the studio erupted in chaos. As the malevolent spirit raged against the protective barrier, Evelyn, Madame Seraphina, and Dr. Blackwood worked together to complete the ritual. With their combined efforts, they managed to weaken the spirit to a point where it could be sealed back into the cursed painting. With a blinding flash of light, the spirit was drawn back into the canvas, its tormented visage frozen in eternal agony. The studio fell silent, the sense of dread and malevolence dissipating. Exhausted but triumphant, Evelyn, Madame Seraphina, and Dr. Blackwood gathered their strength. They knew that the curse had been contained once more, but they also realized that it was their duty to ensure that the painting would never again pose a threat to the world. With the help of a powerful psychic, they sealed the cursed painting within a protective vault, hidden away from the world. Madame Seraphina performed a ritual to bind the malevolent spirit within the canvas, ensuring that it could never escape again. As they left the vault behind, Evelyn couldn't help but feel a lingering sense of unease. She knew that the malevolent spirit was imprisoned, but its presence would forever haunt her dreams. The cursed painting had become a symbol of the darkness that could lurk within art, a reminder of the horror she had faced. Years passed, and the cursed painting remained locked away, its secrets hidden from the world. Evelyn continued her work as an art restorer, but she had been forever changed by her ordeal. She had faced the malevolent spirit and emerged victorious, but she knew that the battle between light and darkness would always be a part of her life. And so, the cursed painting became a legend in its own right, a cautionary tale of the dangers of delving too deeply into the unknown. It served as a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there was always hope, and the power of compassion and determination could overcome even the most malevolent forces.
I'm an icon, man. My girl about a 10. I should fuck her in the Benz.